of the matches that
Yeah, I'm getting league opened up.
Where is everyone? Maybe they didn't know it was Easter. Maybe they set it up for a different time. Maybe we need to spam PM Michael.
I was about to say I'm part of their server, but you know what? 4 of them are in there. Oh, there's the last one.
Yeah, but they're supposed to be in this server. The wrong server, baby. Oh, there they go. Everybody's loading in now. All right, hello and welcome. Got week 2 going in the books, starting us off in the Freljord division with good old Imagine Cloud versus Kamikaze Penguins. Kamikaze Penguins their first real match, with of course having a bye in the first week. So technically a little bit on the behind side as they haven't had their match, but I know they've been doing lots of scrims to keep themselves in shape. And of course, we have picks and pans already starting off. So, Ryan, are you excited for this match? Or, sorry, Senjin, see you.
Yeah, I mean, I've scrimmed Kamikaze Penguins a few times. I've subbed in on their team quite a bit. And I enjoy watching them play. I haven't seen much from Imagine Cloud. I haven't watched their previous game or what they do, but it's always fun to watch my good old friends on the Kamikaze Penguins play. You know, win or lose, feed or get fed. It's always an enjoyable game.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think the website's been a little slow to update from first week. Games been coming out pretty quick, getting everybody back on their heels. They got to get going quick, so not every score has been quite updated. So I couldn't actually tell you. I could tell you the scores they had between those two games, but I couldn't tell you who won or lost. So yeah, Imagine Cloud coming in though. Certainly have the experience of the in-league match, but it's not too different from a scrim if you set it up with pro draft and all that. So pretty typical bans coming out. Fiora being left off. Both teams play a lot of Fiora top, so it'll be interesting if that gets picked. And there we go. Imagine Cloud just immediately grabbing it up. Their top laner's been playing a lot lately, so not a big surprise there. Were you expecting anything different?
Nah. As soon as Fiora wasn't banned, I was pretty much sure Imagine Cloud was going to pick it up. If they didn't pick it up, I'm pretty sure Kamikaze Penguins picked it up because I know Cheese plays basically Fiora Urgot most of the time. And so not a huge surprise out of that one.
Now, Malphite's a fun one for Kamikaze Penguins because, well, Skarner kind of helps eliminate. I was going to say, I think we personally have seen them play Malphite top jungle and support, so he could go anywhere. Limits the options when you pick a Skarner. Pretty certain where that's going to go, though I have seen a Skarner ADC out of that team before, so nothing's out, technically. But most likely jungle there. Kane coming out on the side of Imagine Cloud. Obviously, they are looking to get that for the jungle. Very solid pick, especially Red Kane, still a very strong one to deal with. And Leona for the bot lane. So keeping themselves open for ADC picks here.
You know, honestly though, like looking at what they've picked so far, I'm kind of excited. A lot of the games that I've watched and or casted as a part of, there was always like Ivern, Seraphine, you know, everybody was playing the same kind of champions, but I'm seeing different stuff this game, like Skarner, Kane, Malphite, Fiora, stuff that I haven't seen in a little bit on some of these streams. Looks like we got a Silas as well, man. That was always a fun champion to see.
Yeah, Manivsburg's a big Silas player. I can respect that as a Silas player myself. Not a big surprise, especially seeing the Leona come out. A very good ult for Silas. I don't remember which league was it. If it was this league or if it was in the Pro League, but we've seen some big Silas ults since he gets the big AP scaling on it. So it's not just a stun for him, it's a big AoE nuke. And a lot of control bans coming out. Don't want that Anivia control lane matchup. Wonder if they'll ban an ADC here. Kind of hard to do a single ADC ban, isn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, realistically, for any lane, it's kind of hard to just put a single ban in unless they're absolutely one-tricking whatever they're playing at the time. It's more of just, you know, which would you rather not see? Which would you rather not play against? Because at this point, you know, they're going to get one of their major picks.
Well, Samir is a pretty good 180C ban. even if you don't hard player, if you have enough experience on her, she is quite terrifying. There was that famous clip this week of if she had any more tools, she could fix a car. Good old voice line there will live forever in Samira's memory banks, hopefully, whenever she gets coming out. So, Nautilus coming out, not locked in just yet, but a pretty typical Kamikaze Penguins lineup here of a very strong front line. Do you expect something more like a Caitlyn to be behind it? What do you think they'll round it out with here?
I definitely think he favors the Caitlyn. I mean, looking at their team with the Silas mid, they have 0 range on their team as of right now. Neither do Imagine Clouds. This is looking very much like a melee, get in your face. A lot of the teams
You jinxed
got
it.
like Kane, Fiora, Leona. I mean,
Vel'Koz coming out now.
Vel'Koz is ranged, yes, yeah.
But he's not true range, right? Because he can go through wind wall.
Only some of his stuff can go through wind wall.
Well, Tristana coming out. Funny enough, we were trying to figure out what would get banned, and I predicted Tristana ban due to how much Imagine Cloud's Tatsuya has been playing Tristana in the bot lane recently. So not hugely surprising that it was open, but even less surprising that it was picked. So yeah, looking here, probably be some real long range. Though I could see something crazy like a Kais. Oh, not Yasuo. What?
Absolutely zero range for Kamikaze Penguins there. They just want to go in and stay in.
You think maybe it's still a Malphite bot just for the big ults? I'm assuming it's still going top, but they are going all in on a kind of wombo combo here.
Oh yeah, I mean, I still assume it's Malphite top. With Nautilus, you can still Yasuo all off of like 2 of the abilities. You can do 1 off of Silas. I don't believe you can do any off of Skarner, but I've definitely been wrong before.
No, and I don't think he gets anything off the CC Skarner provides, but CC from Skarner is still going to be very influential in this match. Obviously, they still have decent scaling. Silas and Yasuo both scale quite well, so they will be able to keep up, though will they be able to get onto Tristana is the big thing. They do have the nice Nautilus ult to kind of help clean that up. Basically, Tristana can always be just targeted down. It'll really come down to can they keep Fiora and Kayn from getting too big, because those are brawlers that will really enjoy kind of going into these tanks. Especially with we get Red Kayn here, the sustain from Fiora and Kayn might be too much for the tankier side of Kamikaze Penguins, but you know, nothing's settled yet. We're not even in the game, but a scary outlook for sure.
I think honestly, I think this is definitely like an even matchup. I think both teams have a pretty good draft going through. You've got like the heavy engage with the Yasuo Silas just get in the face from Kamikaze Penguins, and you have kind of like the safe brawlers, you know, people that want to 1v1, 1v2 with like Fiora, Kayn, and even like Vel'Koz that can get through the Yasuo wind wall and stuff like that and still output that damage. They definitely shred some tanks on that team. I definitely think both teams have drafted very well considering.
Yeah, and Skarner actually not like as hard of a tank of a jungler as one might imagine. He can brawl a fair amount as well. It will be very interesting to see what lanes maybe start getting an advantage. Both of these top laners play a lot of Fiora, so Cheeseblaze obviously pulling out a pick he knows he can fight against it, or maybe something he just hated playing against it when he got Fiora himself. So the minus attack speed champion against a champion all around auto attacking. Can't feel good, can it? So Fiora's going to have a fun time. Might be more of a farm lane than a fight lane, but mid lane I expect, depending on the keystone here, we could see a very aggressive Silas, maybe even with Ignite or something, going in for those kills on the very immobile Vel'Koz.
Yeah, this is true. I think the mid lane is going to be very, very volatile. As always gonna game has always mentioned to me, or anybody on their team has ever mentioned to me, Mansdorf has always played a style. It's either, you know, he wins really hard or loses really hard. So I think mid lane's going to be very enjoyable to watch. Vel'Koz being fairly squishy for the Silas, so Silas can easily kill him and take him down. But also Vel'Koz having that burst with his passive and being able to be ranged. If you can poke Silas down before he's able to go in, I think is going to determine the mid lane.
Yeah, I guess I don't have as much experience in this lane. How do you think bot lane's going to be managing? Obviously, there is the range advantage for Imagine Cloud, but do you think there's going to be a level 2 brawl once the Yasuo Nautilus get up?
So I'm not so sure about level 2. They do have to be careful because Leona Tristana is also going to do a lot of early damage, and I'm pretty sure they actually have a damage advantage until a little bit later into the lane. But Yasuo does have that wind wall, so if they do get an engage on Tristana, they can always just wind wall out the Leona, make it to where, you know, you can't engage on the Yasuo as easily as you would be able to in like a normal AD carry like the Caitlyn or something like that. So stopping the engage is a little bit harder, but I definitely think they have the weaker like first few levels.
They could certainly force the Tristana into a weird situation too with that wind wall. If Leona goes in and he dashes through and throws the wind wall, now Tristana either has to walk across or dash into the battle, right into the melee range of Nautilus Yasuo. So it could turn these trades with a right wind wall really at any level. So that'll be a big thing to see, is the positioning of wind walls can be very important in this game. Though it is kind of weird, as you said earlier, Vel'Koz abilities don't all get stopped by it. So that'll be something that he'll have to pay attention to. I believe, is it the ult that doesn't get stopped, or autos?
The ult won't get stopped. I think it's specifically, I think it's the non-crit auto attacks. Funnily enough, I'm pretty sure Vel'Koz is really weird, where his critical auto attacks actually turn into projectiles for a bizarre reason. And then his W's, do not believe his W is a projectile either. I think it's just a line effect on the ground.
Yeah, so while indeed good against this Tristana, especially with her increasing range per levels, it will not be that great into the Vel'Koz, so it will be interesting to see. Seems like there's a lot of chatter in the Twitch stream. A lot of people hyped for Imagine Cloud. Obviously, getting their one trick on their one trick is good. People talking about the different beams that break the wind wall, as well as someone's predicting that if Yasuo doesn't get into his wombo, he's not going to be having a very good combo. So yeah, certainly a lot that could happen this game. It's going to be very up in the air, almost literally.
Yeah. I actually don't think Yasuo necessarily. I think the wombo combos are very nice, and they're going to be huge in this game. I do not necessarily agree with the fact that Yasuo needs to have them. He is a very good 1v1 champion, especially with like the Immortal Shield Bow, and right now they're back to their 2-item crit power spike, Yasuo and Yone. So he only needs the first 2 items. He can effectively just go Shield Bow into Infinity Edge and buy lifesteal and what's that annoying item that blocks physical damage?
Are you talking about the boots?
No, the sword, the one that blocks like 30% physical damage but burns it to you.
Oh, the Death Dance.
That's it. I don't know why I can remember the name. I play Yone too. I'd buy it. But yeah, Death Dance. It allows you to get those items like third. Sustain, go maybe. Tank up, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot with this. All right, well, let us get transitioning into the game. We'll see you guys there. Masaki!
All right.
Alrighty then.
I do appreciate Adam for also answering the Death Stance for whatever reason that was just going over my head today.
It happens. Long day, lots of work, and as I predicted, or I guess we both predicted this, a very aggressive start by Manusberg here with the Sylas with both Electrocute and Ignite, but all around pretty typical keystones, like very aggro keystones in the bot lane for sure, with press attack Tristana. I think the craziest thing to see here is maybe the grasp on Malphite, really hoping to get those autos weaved in over the potential of, what was it we saw the other day? It was Arcane Comet to just try to poke down. So I guess against the sustain of a Fiora, probably better to not do that. Any keystones here surprising you, or are they all pretty much expected?
No, this is pretty much what I saw coming. The only thing that's kind of odd, I don't play top lane, so this really doesn't make a huge difference, and I could be completely wrong on this, but I usually think Malphite would take like an Aftershock or something like that, but Grasp I think works just fine as well.
Yeah, they tend not to go the Aftershock due to the inability to proc it pre-6.
Okay. Again, I don't play much top lane, so it's just...
It's mainly for... Aftershock has great damage and damage negation, so it's just one of those, like, if you can't really utilize it, it's kind of rough. At the same time, I think the Grasp is useful here due to it being the melee matchup. If she dashes in, he hits the E, slows her attack speed, he'll be able to proc a Grasp and Q and walk away potentially. So just being able to try to get favorable trades in a lane that maybe not always in that aspect. So had an early pause due to bladder control issues, but it appears we are good.
Was it from Mansford?
Yeah, it appeared to be, I think it was from one of the main laners. So I'm looking to be in synced up this match.
All right, it looks like from Kamikaze, they're all just going straight down that bot lane with Imagine Cloud doing a 5-point.
Got an invade attempt here. Does he have the hook?
Looks like Leona gets to spot them from out in the river.
Oh, looks like they might be going for a take two, though.
This is true. They might be going up here. However, the first person they will find if they do that will be that Tristana.
Yeah, certainly an interesting path to go for it, but you know, you have to do something unconventional if you're going for an invade, especially on the side. People expect it. Vel'Koz with a nice Q there to get an early proc. Might be chased down by Fiora a little bit, but I don't think anything's getting caught. Just grabbing that nice Skarner bonus gold. You think that'll be something that'll play a big factor? Is the bonus gold from the Skarner passives?
So the gold is like okay. It doesn't really give you that much gold. It's nice. I think the biggest thing about Skarner that's kind of underestimated is that you can use Skarner passives on the map for both sides to kind of track where people are. And it's especially good with the tracking the enemy team to Skarner, because usually Skarner's going to have his taken, or at least know when to take his. But usually with enemy junglers, from what I've seen, if they see one that's Skarner controlled, they will immediately take it. So you can actually use it to track where the junglers are if
Yeah,
you're paying attention to the map.
Can cause some information to be gained or lost on either side, depending on how well they're paying attention. Early trades in the top lane, unsurprising from very brawly kind of champs. Might be focusing a lot more on the bot lane. Will obviously be a lot of trades going on there, and from time to time mid lane, as you said, will be very volatile. Interesting to see where first blood comes from, honestly.
I do agree. I think the only lane that does not seem very volatile of a lane is going to be top lane. You've got that Malphite tank who is getting engaged on, getting down to 200 HP from that extended trade from the Fiora. Might have to back off, but I think, once Malphite starts getting some armor, it's going to be harder for Fiora to trade. But we got Skarner coming in on Vel'Koz, trying to stun that Vel'Koz. Stuns him after the flash and gets some more damage off. Vel'Koz trying to trade back a little bit, but misses his knockup.
Yeah, a little awkward early on. They kind of need to layer their CC right, since his stun's only procced after hitting the E, which if it hits anything else slows down a bit. So he has to kind of wait for the Sylas to potentially initiate. Will really come down to some good coordination there to get the CC chain going. But the early flash blown by Vel'Koz still has barrier, still very defensive rune, but he could get in a lot of trouble with that flash being gone right now.
Oops, Skarner is invading, having to flash over the wall. Kane flashing after him, slowing down with a W. Q's in. He is caught and stuck between 3 people going down to Fiora.
So, I think there was an interesting idea there. He got the flash off Vel'Koz, knowing it would be hard for him. Went into the blue side jungle of Imagine Clouds to try to find some, try to find a buff, predicting on the Kane's, long clear. But unfortunately, he is not a slow clear, so he was able to rotate over, did not stay bot lane for a potential dive or, the Rift Scuttle. So, unfortunate, but now he's getting traded back in his own jungle. That blue side just not getting touched by either side, apparently.
Yeah, that is true. It is kind of rough. He did show himself mid lane with that gank on Vel'Koz, so that's why they was able to rotate so efficiently. They knew where he was right after that. But
yeah, certainly
I don't think
some miscommunication, I think, on how aggressive he could go with rotations. With the Malphite top, of course, going to be pushed in to a degree. It might be a little hard to save or go for an aggressive jungle here.
Yeah, I do think that both top and bot lane are going to be fairly lanes that are going to be pushing in. It's going to make it hard for Kane to do anything aside from maybe mid, because that Vel'Koz seems to have some pretty good wave control, keeping it near his tower, forcing Mansford out back.
Yeah, Relic's certainly playing the mid lane quite well to kind of control it up. Holding a good CS number, but Sylas obviously keeping up. Maybe he's been focusing a little too much on hitting Qs on his opponent. I think it's surprising to see top lane is actually in the side of Malphite, and how well Yasuo's been able to pick up CS. I think there's been a little mismanagement of harassment over prioritizing farm that might come to bite Imagine Cloud. It's a good thing they got that first blood to get some extra gold.
This is true. Fiora will have a hard time, because the first few items that Malphite's going to pick up are going to be those iron steel caps. Oh, we got Skarner getting stunned, getting hit with all the abilities. It's just gonna be going down to the Tristana right there. Everything was just cast so quickly, I couldn't keep up with it. Kane's getting stunned by the Sylas, trying to go in. Half-healthing Sylas having to flash away after killing the Kane. Everybody, Vel'Koz and Leona trying to chase down the Sylas, but he is just too fast and manages to get away.
Oh, he hits level 6 as well. He might be able to
Nautilus
force
going into the
Vel'Koz.
Tristana, but no follow-up right there. Just some damage onto the Trist.
So interesting fight to start off there. I guess of anything, we thought maybe the first dragon fight would happen closer to 6. And probably a great idea by Imagine Cloud here. Go in, try to get the dragon before... Oh, big ult coming in mid.
Looks like about an even trade, actually, with the Sylas just end up getting knocked up by the Vel'Koz and traded into.
Yeah, now Vel'Koz will have ult for the next fight, where Sylas will not. Or at least if he does have it, he won't be able to steal Vel'Koz's due to the ult cooldown adjustment of his ult. So back on that dragon fight, certainly was an aggressive play, but I think Imagine Cloud played it right. They rotated all 4 members, making it to where you either had to match or not. And without those big ults on the side of Kamikaze Penguins, fights are really hard coming in all melee due to, Vel'Koz pressuring with the poke abilities. Then if Leona goes in on someone, they can kind of keep their distance. They don't have to commit as hard. So right there, showing off the weaknesses of Kamikaze Penguins lineup. But that is a pre-6 lineup that it was kind of exploited. Do you think the Skarner might be delving into a pit of despair right now with all the deaths, or being more of a tanky champion, he'll just kind of bounce right back?
I think he definitely will bounce right back. Skarner has, especially post 6, some of the longest CC I've ever seen in my life. I think if you combo right with the ultimate, it's like 8 seconds worth of stuns. So even if he doesn't get his items, even if he doesn't get what he needs, like, he's still gonna bring utility to the team.
Yeah, I think there's certainly still a lot he offers. It's nice that he's not a pop-off champ per se. Still not quite
Vel'Koz
6 for this game.
Vel'Koz having to blow the barrier with the Sylas full combo right there. Still dropping from full to about a 1/3 HP on top of that. Bramble out from Malphite, but Malphite getting ganked by the Kane. Flashes away, getting slowed by the Kane. Fiora just staying in on him, proccing the ultimate. Kane ulting as well, dropping him to 200 HP. But it looks like he makes it to the tower, and they're going to have to stop the chase. That Bramble really putting in work.
Interesting thing to note there. He had ult and chose to use flash instead of ult. Oh, another fight going on mid.
Oh, Sylas getting knocked up under the tower after the flash from Vel'Koz to get away.
Yeah, right there. He had his ult. Sylas ult was up, but he could not take Vel'Koz's ult yet, so he had to go for that without that. So it was unfortunate. Looks like there was an accidental emote used. I think that'll be going off. So interesting play. People not so happy at Mansberg dying there in chat. A little unfortunate. Yeah, and I think someone put in it's about 4 seconds, like 3.5 seconds of stun that Skarner offers with the suppressed stun combo. I think you're thinking of the old top lane Skarner where they used to get real high in CDR very fast, so they could do that longer setup. But that's still possible.
Okay, I was close. It's 6.5 seconds.
Yeah, still a lot of time.
Oh no, it's 3.5. Wait.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. We'll figure it out. Who cares? Somebody's gonna get held by a tail, and it's not gonna be fun for that player.
Yeah,
that's all you need.
It's like overforce. It's like E, don't stun him. You ult him away, then you stun him off of that, then your E's back up, and you stun him again. Oh, Nautilus going in on the Tristana, but the ult only from Yasuo, only hitting the Leona. Leona ulting the Yasuo. He is just dying to that Tristana under the Leona ultimate. Fiora also TPing in. Skarner is behind, but getting stuck between Vel'Koz and Kane as well, having to flash the wall into Dragon Pit, but still getting cut off by the Fiora and Tristan. Tristan and Fiora jumping in instantly, and I don't even know what killed him right there. I think it was the bomb from Tristana.
Yeah, there was a bomb from Tristana that popped, and so did he. Ooh, did Sylas stay a little too long here?
Sylas is trying to stun, but misses the stun of the Kane with the Kane ult. Getting knocked up by the Vel'Koz and just getting engaged in by 3 people. Sylas also goes down here as well.
Yeah, a little unfortunate, a little too greedy there after the bot lane play. The Skarner rotating for the gank.
Oh, Nautilus going in on Tristana. The wind wall, the ult coming in from Nautilus. The exhaust coming in from Yasuo on that Tristana. They are really trying to kill this Tristana, but it does not look like they have the speed. Nautilus missing his hook right there, having to flash away from the Leona. Yasuo trying to go back in, heal coming up from the Tristana, and the bomb will pop the Yasuo.
Oh,
Tristana
missed
will now be
auto
able to
attack onto
jump
the
in on
creep.
Nautilus. Leona going in on the Nautilus as well, but he gets the hook on the wall to be able to get out.
That just looked like a mistiming. The Yasuo ult's only coming up like just now, so a little too early, not quite comboing the ult.
Fiora having to flash away from the Malphite, staying too much into the minions.
Yeah, almost
Nautilus
got punished there by the AoE.
There. Yeah, one thing about the bot lane that is kind of interesting that I hate when playing against Tristana is the bombs in the tower. If I recall, like 3 or 4 times the radius. It's massive. So standing next to your tower, you're just gonna take so much damage from the Tristana bomb. And it looks like second Drake still goes to Imagine Cloud.
Yeah, and surprisingly, after all the ults were used there by Kamikaze Penguins, they're probably saying, hey, let's stop bleeding deaths on objectives. Let's just let them take some stuff for a little while and try to get back in this. Earlier on that bot lane fight, like I was saying, there's just a miscommunication, it seemed like, on ult timings. It's like Nautilus, I guess, just maybe the call was made to go in anyways, but the ults were just mistimed. We had the ult on Leona earlier from Yasuo, so he did not have it for the re-engage, and then they just tried to outchase and got poked out by the Tristana, showing that range disadvantage yet again. And Yasuo even going back in, accidentally autoed a creep. Don't know if it would have been as big of a thing, but who knows, maybe if he autoed the champion then got another auto Q like he tried, it might have actually taken Tristana out even though she healed. So it was going to be very close, but that was never going to feel good when you, when you unfortunately auto the creep there.
Yeah, you got to be careful with how you position your mouse, what you're doing. But Skarner getting engaged on by the Tristana and Leona. Slowly, they're having to kite the Skarner back. A little miscommunication of the ultimates as he gets knocked back by the Tristana, and Leona misses the ult for it. Oh, but the Vel'Koz ult can Q coming out to kill the Skarner there as well. Malphite getting ganked yet again by the Kayn. Kayn ulting on 300 HP, but Fiora just taking too many turret shots goes down. Nautilus getting engaged on, but a great wind wall to stop the Leona from getting that root on that Nautilus.
Also a fun use of the Sylas, stealing the Vel'Koz ult, using it over the wall to try to maybe make them not as interested, knowing that he is hurting them, but he doesn't get the same passive, so he doesn't get that bonus true damage that makes Vel'Koz ult really scary. So
yeah, I will say for Sylas, Vel'Koz ultimate actually seems like a downgrade. As far
it's
as
not
like
too bad in terms of just getting some damage, because he does get a little better scaling, but that's about it. Certainly going to be big on the Leona, stealing Leona ults this game. Tristana ult's not
Malphite teleporting in, ulting Leona and Tristana. Nautilus getting low as Tristana goes down. Leona killing the Nautilus, and they're going to continue to chase down this Leona. The slow coming out from Malphite, but Kayn coming in from behind with a 3-man knockup to get him out. Ult from Skarner coming out to stun that Kayn, and Kayn goes down for that. They're going to now turn their sights onto the Vel'Koz, trying to keep him in range. Malphite getting an auto attack off, but it looks like he is going to be able to make it to his tower. Malphite still continuing, getting comboed nearly, and quite a bit of damage coming out from that Vel'Koz, and Leona getting chased down by Sylas in the enemy jungle.
Yeah, that was a big TP play. The TP play they've probably been looking for most of this game was when do we have all the ults online to go for Malphite kind of committing to the bot lane and getting that big ult off. Obviously, comboing out the Tristana before she could do much is very good. They will lose top tower, though, off that fight because Fiora, not having TP, decided to just hard push it out. But Sylas getting the pick-off kill on the Leona there was very good for him, allowing him to keep up since he's already been up in CS. A little miscue, I think the Kayn may have accidentally gore drinkered when he was at full health for the damage, which he might have been able to survive a little longer to maybe get a little more off for his team there, because it was a great 3-man knockup, but just didn't have much follow-up, unfortunately, with the Leona being out of all of her resources and everybody else being basically dead there. So, looks like Kamikaze Penguins
trying to go in, misses the stun, but still that Sylas damage, even without the stun. He is now stuck between 3 people, going into the Tristana, but just goes down to the bot lane there.
Yeah, he's a max W with a bunch of points in his Q, so his E is actually not going to do all that much damage for the Sylas. He's mostly focused on just hitting everything else, but certainly getting a little aggressive trying to get these picks. It sounds like chat's still disappointed. They were hoping for some more pop-off, but Vel'Koz just being so clean this game.
Leona did flash miss, but looks like she's going to hit the Nautilus on the rebound here. And just too much CC between Leona and Red Kane, with mid tower going down as well.
Didn't seem to know he was on a ward there. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a scanner yet, so he actually couldn't check. He still has his regular trinket ward, so staying in on that ward was a death sentence from the get-go, not really having anywhere to go. And even if he flashed, it was going to be hard to get away from a Kane who has all his stuff up.
Oh, Malphite getting knocked up. Leona ulted. Leona engaging. Tristana ulting him away, but with the Kane on top, he has to ult out through the pit, dying to the Vel'Koz Q. Silas now having to run for his life, but it looks like he's just going to be able to casually dash out of the way. Fiora is just going to continue split pushing that top lane as well while they take the dragon.
See, that's the plays that Imagine Clouds needs to be doing, forcing the big ults on escape instead of on engage. If they can stop Malphite from going in and hitting multi-person knockups, using it to get away to not die, it's even better when they actually pick them off as they did there, because it's just like wasting their resources. So getting that third dragon puts them on dragon point. 16 minutes in, and we have 3 dragons already for Imagine Cloud and a 6K, nearly 7K gold lead. Certainly what they were looking for. Relic's playing very clean on the Vel'Koz this game, really putting in a lot of work.
Up, Skarner looking at the Fiora there, just gets knocked back by the blast plant.
Uses Smite to secure his red buff, so didn't get too hard counter jungled there. Certainly have been bleeding resources in the top lane, though, with this Fiora really pushing into their top lane. This is looking to be something that might be a big problem. If they're not getting these fights, she might just split push them to death, won't she?
Oh yeah, that is one of the best ways to get to play against these 3 tank comps. They want a team fight. Kamikaze Penguins wants to have a 5v5 team fight, or even just like kill lots of people. Like 4 people is what their comp wants to do with those tanks. They don't have a solid way to split push or answer the Fiora. So Fiora's goal out here, I think, is just to continue that split push and put pressure, so that if they do make these changes, they're going to have to be punished for it. Silas going in, half-healthing the Vel'Koz.
Looks like he's being rotated on by the Kane. And I believe... Okay. Yes, so we do have Red Kane. The little image on the mini-map, though, makes it look like the blue Kane because it's the skin picture. But is it indeed Red Kane? We do have Red Kane this game. Not surprising with the Gore Drinker and Conqueror. Didn't call it out earlier. A lot of Mythics starting to pop up. Kind of missed these before. Tristana on 2 items, actually. I completely missed that with the Kraken Slayer and the Storm Razor. Obviously, your typical support item in Leona. Coming out with the Locket, the Immortal Shield Bow, as you called it, for the Yasuo, and the Divine Sunder for Skarner, really looking to try to sustain in these fights. Kind of wasn't sure what he'd go for. Chem Tank, certainly an item being looked at more and more with the upcoming buffs.
Yeah, I personally, I'm not a huge fan of Divine Sunder. It just doesn't, feel very strong to me. I'm sure other people can make...
Some people complain.
Yeah, it's just, especially if you're behind, it doesn't feel as strong of a mythic compared to other things that you could go. Like the Chem Tank would allow him to a little bit more easily go, like even pre-buffs would allow him a bit more easily to go in.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised they don't just have multiple Frostfire gauntlets coming out so that he can kind of really lock someone down and keep them from getting away. But Rift Herald was used mid there. It was the second Rift Herald, technically. There will not be another Rift Herald spawning. And it is a non-plate Rift Herald, but still good. They opened up the mid lane. There's only 1 outer tower left for Kamikaze Penguins. Not looking too hot for them on the tower side. They haven't taken a single tower. Malphite closest to taking 1 top lane. Otherwise, they've lost everything but their bot lane tier 2. They're looking a little rough. I can see where this gold lead's coming from.
Yeah, they are down 8,000 gold right now. That's a pretty hefty lead, but to be honest, I've seen even worse comebacks. I've seen like 10k deficit comebacks in these seal matches, or even just regular matches. So I wouldn't count them out yet, but it is definitely looking in favor of Imagine Cloud. They have played this incredibly well.
Yeah, they as a big team fight comp too, with big ults like Malphite, Yasuo, all the other follow-up CC and a very pop-off champion like Silas. Oh, we got an initiation here. Ooh, good flash dodge on the hook. But as I was saying, there is high potential for these big ults to come into play here.
Vel'Koz ultimate going down. Leona ult coming down on the Silas. Well, 3 of them really as well. They really wanted that Silas, but only dropped him to 300, so he's going to be able to walk out of that one.
Still has the Vel'Koz ult as well. Might have to use it for some wave clear here. Looks like they are setting up the Baron. Not quite going for it with the their clouds, or not with the Dragon Soul coming up. It'll actually be Ocean Soul this game. So something a little even nicer for them with these big fights to have some sustainability to maybe try to tank it. I think Mountain might have been their preferred just to make sure they have that little shield to deal with the combo. But Ocean won't be too bad as well, especially if your opponents get no dragons. Having a soul over nothing is always better.
I think Ocean in this case is actually fantastic because you got 2 of these brawlers, these bruisers, and Kayn and Fiora. They already heal quite a bit. And having that Ocean Soul on top of it is just going to give him so much. Kayn running into 5 people and having to flash away. It looks like he's going to get stunned and ulted by the Skarner there and just instantly killed.
Silas missed all his abilities, but they still managed to pop him, so it goes to show that's a lot of CC there. Malphite being forced to answer the Fiora here while there's still a fight getting set up around Dragon, but nothing quite is starting yet.
Malphite going down, even with his armor. I think Fiora can 1v1 him right now. It's definitely going to be rough, but she has the means to do it. Nautilus going to go down to the Tristana bomb when that pops. Yasuo 2-man ulting, flashing away, exhausting the Tristana, but getting stunned by the Leona. Still trying to fight, getting rooted. Mortal Shield Bow procs out, just dashing, trying to get out. Knocks up the Fiora, and just not enough dashes to get out through that midway. Flash E onto the Silas with him going down as well.
Looking like they might, looks like they're clearing up this wave, going to go back and secure this Dragon. Though they are splitting, like they kind of want to do Dragon and Baron. Will be interesting to see what they decide on, because damage will be a little thinner if they have Tristana taking the Dragon after all. And Malphite's going to try to maybe hunt her down. Might be a little hard for him to fight her, but same for her fighting him. Almost had the nice wombo combo there. Nautilus, before he ran away, was able to throw the ult, knocking up 2 with the Yasuo hitting onto it. So it's what they're looking for, but it just wasn't enough. They just kind of missing that extra bit of damage because that was on the Tristana. Oh, and this greed play looks like it's paying off for them. They're getting both the Baron and Dragon Soul, and there's just nothing Kamikaze Penguins can do about it. Turn it to a 10k gold lead with pretty much every buff on the map in their favor, except for that red buff taken right there.
Yeah, that was huge for Imagine Cloud right there, getting both of those. Now, I as I said, I like to play Yone, and Yasuo's on my docket to learn. They're very fun champions. And please correct me if I'm wrong, but I was pretty sure that last patch they fixed Yone Yasuo to where they can get 2 crit items and hit that 100% crit chance, but we're seeing the Yasuo in this game having the Immortal Shield Bow on top of 2 additional crit clips. It's not necessarily weighted stats. What?
All right, the correction is they have to be completed items, and he has partial items, hence why he's
he would be at 90% if he just had 1 crit clip. Fortunately they're not wasted stats. The extra crit does just get converted into AD. Oh, Fiora getting engaged now by 3 people right there, doing whatever she can to stay alive. Silas using the Fiora ult on Fiora right there. Nautilus having the Fiora ult on him. Fiora just desperately trying to run away, but getting stunned. Malphite having to ult away again, dying to the Leona ult bot lane. We got 4 people bot lane with 3 people answering the Fiora split push. It looks like they're going to be able to take some objectives here in the bot lane.
Yeah, this is looking a little rough. This is kind of the moment they need to go in, but without the Malphite, they don't have the big ult.
Tristana just doing insane amounts of damage with those auto attacks. Yasuo just CC'd for too long to do anything. Tristana just melting that Silas right there, even with Silas's sustain, barely able to even hurt Tristana, but Tristana jumping into the Skarner to get pulled into the Nexus laser.
You know, she's got 3 items, but none of those seem to stop CC, unfortunately. And Skarner getting a little aggressive here. Looking like this might be it right here with the Baron up and still have pretty much everybody up to trying to take the Nexus.
Skarner, Fiora trying to fight the Skarner. The ult going in on the Skarner, just going down so quickly. Malphite getting knocked up and CC'd, and the Nexus will go down.
Yeah, unfortunately, they just couldn't quite get an advantage anywhere. They had the CS numbers above the opponents, but just nothing really else there. So, game 1 to Imagine Cloud.
It should. I think Ansem had it work.
You just have to leave the lobby and then we'll get to the end screen, can look at the stats here. Man, that Vel'Koz really doing damage. Got about 24,000 damage. So yeah, if you want to talk about some damage numbers being done here, there were some pretty big ones being hit on the side of Imagine Cloud. Really popping off here, especially with the Vel'Koz, Fiora doing her dues, and Tristana, as we were saying at the end there, just jumping in and popping people. Probably would have outdone the Vel'Koz if she was in more fights, but got to be fair, she is a farming champ, did need to stay bot lane a good chunk of that time, so quite intense first game, but it went pretty solidly after a while in the favor of our boys at Imagine Cloud.
Oh yeah, Imagine Cloud really pulling it out. Looking at the damage numbers, you can definitely see that Vel'Koz and Tristana just putting in all that work right there. Kane really not actually doing a whole lot damage-wise, down there with Leona. Silas definitely having the highest damage on his team as well.
Yeah, it just felt, as somebody said it in the chat, it felt like Kamikaze Penguins was taking this game very casually, kind of casually, meme comps, casually doing stuff, and you could, you might be able to argue that with how it ended, that they maybe took it almost too casual, and now that they have, you know, some interesting issues to come into this next game, knowing, hey, this team is not in our division for nothing. They're here to fight, and they're going to do it well. So.
Yeah, they say they took it too casually, but like they still had those good TPs back bot lane. Like they still tried to play aggressive and do what their team was meant to do.
Are we going on to a muted intermission, or are we going to stay open? How are you feeling, Sinjin? You want to go on a intermission for a little bit, or
I think
just
I
kind of?
think I need to grab a little bit more water after that game.
Yeah, we'll just go on a small intermission while we're waiting for everything to get set back up, and we'll talk to you guys soon. they're just gonna pick something to be better around Vel'Koz. Oh, welcome back, everybody. We are already getting really quickly into these picks and bans. Similar bans as we had last time with the Olaf and Urgot right off the bat. Both champs just very strong right now, very hard to deal with. Not surprising they're getting kind of slapped out as fast as they are. You expect any bans to be different besides maybe some of the champs from the last game?
I mean, personally, I thought the Vel'Koz was good after he got a few kills, so maybe the Vel'Koz, but it looks like they're going to go with the Olaf, Hecarim, Camille. I don't think that Imagine Cloud's going to change up their bans at all, except for maybe get the Fiora out of there because Kamikaze can pick up the Fiora as well.
Yeah, certainly is something in contention, but they go with the Caston nonetheless. Don't want to get outscaled, and it's almost like a mirror. It's the exact same 3 bans by both teams into the same first pick for the blue side, but this time they're countering it with Shen instead of the Malphite. Maybe hoping, you know, Shen has the anti-melee range, little zone, and the Leona picked up again. They might also be looking to just out-rotate with the Shen ults so that he can still counter her split push. So that might be another way to counteract that. And the Amumu coming out. So another big team fight, jungle ult coming out. Lots of CC, especially since it got changed, coming to a big AoE stun instead of root. Could be a big factor in this game. Much more AoE than the single target of Skarner from last game.
Yeah, Skarner, I think, definitely has a longer amount of CC, but the Amumu ult can just do so much, just locking everybody down, even for that short time, and just allow you to actually kill people so quickly.
And they pick up the Tristana this time. Either they realize they left it open, or it might have just been, as we know, Zenial's very versatile on ADC champs, going, hey, let's just use our pick as like a counter, so that way we don't have to ban it, I can play it and do it fine. And that way it limits their ADC's pool a little bit due to how much Tristana they've been playing. So a little tactical play here, knowing he's not really Tristana main in any regards, but can certainly still pull it off. I think a big thing you have to factor in, though, for the Amumu CC time, do you count it all when if they get a multi-person ult? That actually could be more CC in that aspect.
You are right there.
So carry jungle Graves coming out real quick with the Maokai ban.
Yeah, I'm honestly not a huge fan of Graves. Personally, it's the only issue I have with the LCS right now is every game has Graves. But, you know, Graves still a very solid pick, and then banning the Sylas, so they're going to force Mansferg on something different this game. You know, despite Sylas being behind, he was still doing quite a bit of damage.
Certainly, I would almost think they would maybe leave it because he was inting a lot of gold away as well, so they might have liked that, but at the same time, he is a very strong champ that scales really hard, same with the Kassadin, so they might have just wanted to remove the chance of them having another scale or something like that. So Kaisa coming up with the Jhin ban, it was kind of predicted they would have to go something a little different. Jhin being a very good combo person with Leona here. So Kaisa coming out unsurprisingly. Gonna be interesting. They're saving that last pick mid to try to counteract Kamikaze Penguins. Unsurprisingly, seemed like a lane that they really relied on last game, so not a bad idea to put that in this game as well. The Graves jungle will have the advantage to Amumu to a degree. The Veigar coming out, you know, that's almost unsurprising with our history with Mansferg. Looking to scale in a different way. Yeah, certainly.
He does play Veigar considerably safer than he would the Sylas.
Yeah, it'll be pop off in a different way. Now, what will be the last pick for Kamikaze Penguins? The Nautilus again. So still a pretty good combo for Tristana. Lots of CC to lock down, allow her to get all her autos off for the big bomb damage. Going to be a very brawly bot lane yet again. This time, you know, might even be even more. And the Rumble coming out. That is an interesting one by Imagine Cloud. So that's going to really help with their team fight situation here. They've got a lot going into that since they don't have maybe the big ults to match the Amumu ult, but now they do. So these fights are going to be pretty brutal and pretty bloody, to be honest.
Yeah, Kamikaze, I think Rumble's fantastic. I love the champion. I used to play him jungle all the time. As long as Kamikaze doesn't like line up or sit in the jungle, it might not be too impactful, but that Rumble ult just does so much damage to a team.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot going on, and you know, there's going to be a lot of potential for some big plays as well. Kaisa is somebody who could easily like sneak into the back line. Graves is someone who actually gets a lot tankier than people realize with the stacks of his True Grit. Um, I might have said that wrong. That might be no, that might be what his passive is still. Rumble obviously having a lot that he can take out in terms of damage. I mean, there's just both sides have a lot of interesting plays. Shen's not quite the same as Fiora in terms of split pushing, but with his, you know, I'm assuming he'll take TP. He'll be able to out-rotate her to a decent regard. So he might be able to hold her off in the top lane and still impact the bot lane fight. And she can't really stop him from TPing besides trying to kill him. So if he stays in a decent spot, there's not much she can do to stop him from turning a fight.
That's true. She does not have any form of hard CC to get him out of that.
Looks like we're waiting on someone to go to the bathroom again.
Is that
Diapers being
Mansfield?
called out in chat. We have a diaper emoji for the people that seem to not be good at holding it in between one game.
I know.
Alrighty
looks
then.
like they're starting.
We finally got into the true lobby where we'll be reenacting the picks and bans. And hopefully won't have a remake like we had last week. Many of those happened last week because people were not paying attention. So who knows? Kind of is expensive to pay attention, isn't it?
Yeah, just watch. I mean, for the most part, unless you're the top laner, you just got to pay attention to what champion you're supposed to be picking here. Top laner, you got to ban the proper 5 champions. So they have a little bit more pressure right here, but usually I never see it because of the bans. I usually see it because somebody locks in the wrong champion.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes, unfortunately. People with the easiest jobs tend to screw them up in this situation. So, yep, nothing too crazy. I will say that this is a much more typical lineup, we could say, of Kamikaze Penguins. The very high scale, high wall, maybe with a small backup plan, but very traditional team fighty, scaly lineup out of them. Imagine Cloud's basically replicating what they did last game with a good, you know, mid laner that has some good space control, high damage, a jungler that likes to fight, a top laner that can rotate. Lots of the same. Maybe I think the only thing different is losing out on their big split pusher from the Fiora. So I don't know. Maybe they should pick up Trendamere.
Trendamere. What a wonderful champion.
I think most people would say he's an awful champion, but we'll go with wonderful for this line of talk here.
I don't know. I think our jungler would argue otherwise.
Well, our jungler is degenerate at times, so we'll leave it at that. He does his own thing, but I think you'd be happy to see a Graves coming out in all those matches you were complaining about seeing Graves in. So
in professional play, he just seems like he is the most picked champion in professional play. I want to see some, you know, some unique stuff coming out.
Well, unfortunately, when Graves is good, he's very good. He's just a very strong champ overall with his passive, allowing him the little dash has the other passive of allowing him to stack up armor and MR, so he can be unreasonably tanky for someone building pure damage, and as well as just the amount of burst he has with his Q off walls. So yeah, he certainly offers a lot, and with a lot of the items that have been decent nowadays, he can pick up a wide variety. So wonder what we'll see this game. I don't know what his typical one is due to the variety. You know, there could be a lot of variety on both sides. Fiora last game was on Imagine Cloud and went with the Divine Sunderer to fight the tank. Could change it up this game, could stay the same. Certainly a lot of variability in what these players pick, because just because they play the same champ as each other doesn't mean they build the same.
That is true. Some people play the champ completely differently. I've seen Ivern's build in this. I've seen Ivern's alone in this league. I've seen him build the typical, you know, support Ivern with some of the support items, redemption, stuff like that. And then I think one game I saw someone go Night Harvester Ivern with a Mesh Eyes. People just play these champions differently. It's always interesting to see how they do.
Oh.
And it looks like we have a Q dodge from Asov.
GG, well played has been called. What a great cast. It was great cast with you, Sinjin. See ya. So we go pick up some Mickey D's to pass the time.
Oh, man.
I wonder if there was a power outage, client,
Yeah.
questions of death. Seems like he's already back in the lobby.
Oh, he DC'd during that time. Yeah, that's
Go,
understandable.
go, go. All right, we're getting it going.
We're going back at it again.
All right, let's start spamming R's in the chat. There we go. Everything should be good to go. Alrighty then, so a little longer to get into the start of this game. Wouldn't be a cast if we weren't delayed. It seems like the last few I've been on have had some interesting delays. I hope this luck does not fall upon you, my co-commentator today.
No, usually I'm pretty good at selecting my champion, as long as we don't have any technical issues. To be fair, it was out of ASO's control. He did just DC.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out this weekend in our game 2. An interesting one for sure. So, man, I've kind of beat it to death. But to team comps, so what do we have here? Rumble, that's different. Haven't seen that all day.
I actually haven't seen a Rumble like at all during my time in Seal. I think I've seen like maybe one Rumble, but other than that, not exactly what I would consider a powerful or
I think your old mid laner liked to play Rumble, but he wasn't that good at Rumble, so was not preferred. But that's nothing to be ashamed of. Rumble is an interesting and difficult champ due to his mechanic of the steam. So, you know, not for everybody, per se. Especially if you're against vaping, because that's kind of what his passive is to a degree. Its own thing. I guess the interesting thing will be he'll have kind of a hard time getting on the Veigar if the Veigar spaces is the way we know they can. Just stay in far back, maybe just farm with Q, autos when need. He might be very rotational dependent. Like he might have to rotate to bot lane to really impact this game.
That'll be perfectly fine. That'll fit into what Rumble kind of wants to do anyway, being a kind of like a weird melee matchup mid. It's not like you're playing the Silas or something where you have like dashes and insane movement. He is a very immobile with only having the movement speed from his W, so he does have to play carefully.
Yeah, I will say he is seen as usually when picked as a very what's it called? But he is very much seen as a tower dive champion due to his ult, and with the Shen, I wouldn't be surprised if they both hit 6. Maybe he rushes tier 2 boots for the movement speed, and they just run bot or run somewhere and just dive somebody, and just try to overwhelm a lane with just overwhelming presence. That is certainly a play that back when on a different team I was on, when we forced Rumble, it was either to do the hot pot combo with Jarvan, or we'd use it to try to tower dive with the immense power of his ult. It's got a lot, you can actually fire it from a lot further range than people realize, especially because you can vector angle it away, so it goes even further. So it's quite a big ult that has quite a big range, so they could be some interesting plays with that and the Shen ult to survive some tower shots.
Yeah, on the Rumble, I'm pretty sure the range only actually applies to the initial cast location. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think you're right. So you can basically, if you're quick, you can place it, vector target it further, and make it shoot really far. So
yeah.
Yep, can certainly go for some crazy plays. Will be interesting to see what they use it for. About to hit our 3-minute load-in delay timer for spectating. So yeah, we got some time to fill.
We got quite a bit of time actually.
Yeah, I guess where do you want to do some predictions? Where do we think First Blood might start off from?
First Blood. You know, honestly, looking at bot lane, we've got Leona versus Nautilus, 2 heavy engaged supports, 2 AD carries, Tristana and Kaisa, that just want to go in. I think bot lane is where something's going to happen. I definitely think either Leona's going to get a good thing on Tristana where Nautilus can't help out and Kai'Sa's going to blow her up, or the vice versa with Nautilus going in on the Kaisa and Tristana blowing up Kaisa. You
know, with last game, I was almost expecting you maybe to say top lane with how much, you know, Barbarity and Cheeseblaze were really fighting each other, even though they were champions that maybe weren't meant to fight each other per se. So that could be potential, though. I will say, you know, with the Cage bandage toss combo, there is a chance that this Rumble maybe over aggresses early on an attempted trade with the Veigar. So certainly will be interesting. But yeah, I think it's a safe bet to call the bot lane where there's the heavy CC, heavy damage. We could certainly get some of the and I always forget it when I'm on the scene. The red tree attack speed item or attack speed keystone, the blades.
Oh, Hail
Blades We've certainly seen Hail Blades Kaisa more often than not, so that she can proc her passive very quickly, get a lot of damage off. So obviously Leona stun into Hail Blades. Do you think we'll see something like that of Tristana? I'm assuming more typical press the attack.
Nah, I'm expecting press the attack from Tristana, because even with the Hail Blades, I definitely think press the attack, you get a considerable damage boost over the Hail of Blades for the same short trade. It takes, well, not the same short trade. It takes, slightly longer, but it's a pretty substantial damage increase with the bomb going off if you get the press the attack procced.
Yeah, I assume the exposure damage really nice when you have the bomb, especially, whereas the Hellblades is maybe get the bomb procced up faster, but maybe not as reliable. So certainly a lot to go on there. Pretty typical stuff probably coming out from all. I do wonder what the Rumble will take. I know there's a Challenger Rumble main that likes to go with the Electrocute full in damage, but others go with the more typical, Arcane Comment because his E is a slow, so he can proc that, get a little extra harass that way. So a few options for him, as well as with Graves. I think the main one they go for is in the blue tree now, but you never know.
Phase
Some
rush,
people,
yeah.
they like the phase rush. So lots of potential here.
I will say with the Rumble, I doubt that we're going to see it, but I personally liked the Dark Harvest Rumble. If you get a good, solid ult off in a team fight, people are going to start dropping left and right. You're going to proc Dark Harvest like 4 times in that fight.
Yeah, certainly could be a great pop-off mastery. Shen's actually a character that could take that Aftershocks, though I do expect the grass more often than not. So with that, we're going to get loading into Game 2 of Kamikaze Penguins and Imagine Cloud.
Hasagi!
Alrighty then, here we are getting to see, man, interesting. We have an Ignite Shen top. Of the two to take Ignite, you'd maybe expect the Fiora for the fighting potential, but nah, Shen's taking it to go in for them kills. So yeah, that'll lead to some interesting times. The heavy TP advantage, funny enough, on the side of Kamikaze Penguins.
That is true, and the Tristana did opt for the Hail of Blades this time as well.
Yeah, so much for that. I guess we messed it up here. So wait on a little bit of the counter to go on now to make sure we're synced up the stream. We'll get that set up in just a second, but we'll make calls best ability. Seemed pretty good off the get-go last time, though. Got just a very typical 5-man split by both sides to make sure that there's no invade. Nautilus again, so I guess you could see it again. SF was on Nautilus last game after all, and they did go for the invade, but not the same. Pinging out the one ability power. It's all over, man. Vanguard's already popping off. Are you there, Senjutsu?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm trying to sync up with the stream right now. I didn't realize that he had paused it at like 30 seconds, so I'm a little bit ahead right now. So I'm just trying to get it a little bit more lined up. Oh.
No, the if you're trying to, don't line it up with the stream as in the Twitch TV stream. That's off by a few seconds usually. We just have to match with what he has on his client.
Yeah, that's fine. I understand the stream is a few seconds behind, but I was like 20 seconds ahead, so I was just trying to back it up a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I'm all synced up, so I'm not gonna worry. Are you synced up, Senjutsu?
Yeah, I'm back to being synced up, which should be good.
All right, so pretty typical start, starting on the safe side to clear. Technically, I think Amumu actually could start the blue with the help of the Fiora, but opted to go for the red. We'll see what path he takes. Very typical of Graves to. I mean, actually, Graves could start as red alone. He could start anywhere. So I wonder if they predicted that out or if they assume this is a fake leash, because Leona did come back into lane, I think, with a tiny bit of mana loss, but that doesn't always mean anything since she can just use an ability out of the brush or when she's off.
This is true. This is true. It's always good to do a fake leash on both sides of the map, because if your opponents don't have any vision, it doesn't give away where your jungler is.
Funny enough, neither do. So while there is some wards that have been placed, they've been placed in the river, so not really helping too much. So yeah, it might be a much calmer early game this time. I don't know if there'll be as much fighting going on. Uh, Graves would be fine to fight, but he's more of a farm champ. Obviously, Vagar wanting to get his phenomenal evil stacks going up, and I think top lane's not Shen's just fine with just trading out farm here.
Yeah, as Shen players usually do. He does have a very strong early game, though.
Yeah, and he might actually look to fight. Obviously, the grasp will give him some nice trading damage, and the ignite to, I guess, counteract the healing. Maybe go for that sneak kill on Fiora as well, relying more on the ult for teleport plays over the actual teleport. So, not quite what we predicted of trying to stop her from split pushing as well as being able to go into the match. So
It
that will be.
does.
All right, let me rewind.
Yeah.
All right, I am back to synced up.
Yeah, I should
I
be
might
good
be
as
like
well.
I might be like 0.25 of a second off, but I can't really fix that.
Yeah. We're good to go. Oh.
I was at whatever timer you were at.
Well, before we were at like 3.5 minutes.
Yeah.
We went back to where you were at. I don't know what's happening now. Just go to live.
All right. Oof,
Pretty
we have
picture.
missed we have missed the first blood here. Oh, and a
Yeah,
flash
the
play by the
first
Shin
blood.
was missed.
First blood, as you were right. First blood does go to the top lane. Goes to that Fiora.
She actually found the kill there. Shen ran back top and went for a flash play for the kill, trying to get it back, and it looks like Mansberg is just going to tick out to the Ignite flash play mid. So lots of flashes going down very quickly. Top lane Fiora actually didn't use hers for the solo kill, but forced Shen to use his on the basically kill back. And along with mid lane, we had the Rumble flash in onto the Vagar and went for the all in and did manage to just tick him out with the last tick of Ignite.
Yeah,
Looks like the Amumu
Amumu
went for a
getting
crazy
chased
play.
down. Oh, but Nautilus going in. Amumu missing the stun. Leona hitting that stun on the Amumu and the Nautilus. Shen also going into the Fiora. Fiora's going to kill that Shen. Graves having to flash out. Tristana jumping to kill her. Leona flashing after that Tristana. Tristana barely managing to jump out with just slivers of HP at this point. Kaisa flashing to take down the Tristana. Nautilus now on the run from Kaisa and Rumble. But Vagar coming in with the baby cage and knocking quite a bit of HP out of that Rumble. And the auto attack comes out to finish off the Rumble. Vagar is now going to be able to get away with that blast. Oh, sitting around that blast cone getting out. Kaisa now does have those double buffs.
If you want to talk about an insane moment.
All right, now we're going back and we're going to see everything we just did. Graves chasing the Amumu again. Kaisa missing, Nautilus coming out. This is where Leona goes over and kills the Amumu. Yeah, this is the replay.
Tristana hard chasing onto the Graves as before. So seeing it the second time, as we can see here, this final E from the Rumble was actually able to just stop the Tristana from being able to walk out of the range. A great baby cage, even gets this nice Dark Harvest Frost here. I think that's his first Dark Harvest Frost as this match as well, which is obviously fantastic for him finally getting those stats. Oh no, it's the second with 36 phenomenal evil power. So a very explosive fight there. Lots of kills happening all over the map. Shen just totally having the worst time of his life in the top lane now, giving 2 kills to this Fiora. In bot lane, very even trade, you could say, with both Tristana and Kaisa getting out with a kill.
I will agree, but Tristana did die, so she's going to miss out on the CS, and Kaisa got double buffs. So I will put it a little bit more in the benefit of Kaisa there over the Tristana.
Did you notice
But
what
it's not
the
huge.
Rumble built that I may have called out?
The Sork Shoes?
Yeah, he rushed boots, went for that amazing rotational power of being able to run around and do what he needs to do with these. I don't even think he had ult for that fight either. Neither mid laner did. So
Nope. They're still holding Vagar's not even level 6 right now, actually, but Rumble is level 6. Amumu trying to steal the dragon, but is gonna go down.
they did force the Rumble ult out, which stopped bot lane from coming in. So unfortunately, Amumu may have had the plan of fighting with his bot lane, but the Rumble ult just a little too strong, little too hard to deal with. I think the stream is experiencing technical
Yeah, it's
difficulties again, so we will
just keep
keep
talking.
talking. We have another fight going in top lane. It looks like just some small trading from the Fiora
Fiora
and
is up
Shen.
2 levels though. Fiora's level 7. That Shen is only level 5.
He only has a cloth armor to her pickaxe too, so item-wise, not feeling too hot. That's not quite enough armor, unfortunately, to
Nope,
counteract.
Nautilus is going in on the Graves, but they're gonna take some turret shots for that one.
That's a level 6 Graves with ult. He might not have any summoners, but he's still something to worry about. You know, the
Very threatening.
CS numbers not looking as hot as it was last game. Kamikaze Penguins had every lane up by 10 CS at this point, so they are up in gold, but only by about 200. It looks like we have caught up in terms of fun stream today, Peercast style.
Oh, Nautilus going in on that Kaisa, landing a good hook. Leona missing her thing. Nautilus just beating on the Kaisa, but with Graves right there, Graves is going to pick up that kill on Nautilus.
Baby Cage used mid to stop the Rumble from going in. Looks like that'll be it for that fight. Yeah, I want to point out
trades.
the Graves didn't even ult there, so they could go for a dive here, and it looks like they're looking for it.
Could be risky. It looks like he's just going to go take the Krugs there. Oh, Baby Cage missing for the Vagar, but Amumu is mid lane. Rumble's going to have to walk this one out.
Now looks like Shen finally hit 6-2, so any fight, you know, really they could have gone for that dive. They had the Shen ult as well, would have made it a lot easier for them. So certainly a lot going in. It looks like the stream is back up, but we're back at the dragon fight, so we'll have to get resynced a little bit. Nope, we're down again.
Yeah, we're down again.
All right,
Oh,
I hope you guys are enjoying
Shen
League of
taunting on the
Slight Drone.
Fiora. Fiora having to flash away. Ignite coming up from the Shen is going to shut down the Fiora.
An aggressive play by Fiora, trying to get some plates as well as a little harass, but the taunt Ignite actually proven some good worth there. Getting that shutdown will really help him get back in this game. Been very much struggling with these fights. Kind of something we were expecting one side to do, unfortunately, at this top lane is Shen has a little bit harder of a time fighting Fiora, it feels like, but
yeah,
that might just be a me.
In Fiora's respect here, she's still up she's still up like 600 gold on the Shen. It's still going in her favor, but just just a slight misplay right there, miscalculation of what was going to happen.
Yeah, she does still have a 20 CS lead, which will indeed give her a much better time. Looks like Rumble's trying to look for a roam here, or maybe getting a pick off on the Vagar. Both have ult, so his fight certainly could come up, and he does have both summoners in Flash and Ignite, so he could be. Oh, we have a Amumu coming in.
Yep, he had to flash away from the Amumu and Baby Cage. That could have been terrible for him.
I think that's the setup I was predicting too. Go for the Baby Cage, force him to be stuck in an area. Amumu can just walk in and basically CC lock him. So still looking for that first big Amumu ult that'll kind of maybe set some pace for Kamikaze Penguins. They are indeed down gold again this game by about 1K. So still not looking so hot, but not quite that down
Graves
for
come
last
in, and Rumble ult coming out on the Fiora. Shen is going to go in as well. Fiora's going to try and get out, but goes down to Barbadrian Morgan.
It's a great name. It confuses me, which makes it even better.
Oh, but
So Amumu will secure the Rift Herald here on the backside, though. Has a few minutes to proc it and get some plates off for someone. Oh, a re-engage on the Graves.
Oh, ult coming out from the Amumu. Graves going down to the Vigar ult. Amumu getting quite low is going to go down to the Rumble. Rumble now turned his sights in on the Vagar, but having to turn away because of this Steam meter going to max. Both Rumble and Vagar are quite low.
Yeah, Shen rotating as well, trying to find a pick off on the Vagar, but he's able to get away. Smart play there by Mansberg. Great play by Relics. Unfortunately, when he is in his maxed out Steam mode, you actually don't want to be in melee range because all of a sudden he's an auto attack champion, gets bonus damage on hit with his with his stuff. So yeah,
Yeah, his Steam is actually kind of bizarre, but it looks like they're going in on the trying to go in on the Tristana, but getting hooked by the Nautilus there. Leona's stuck. Kaisa just having to back out because of the TP from the Fiora. Looks like Leona's gonna go down, trying to give the kill to Amumu, but going down to Tristana, and Fiora killing the Kaisa as well.
Looks like she TP'd bottom and dived the Kaisa. So I do see you guys talking in chat about us commentating at a different angle. We're being told by the stream host that we're working with while he's trying to get the technical difficulties fixed to just keep going at where we're at since we're synced with each other so that we can keep some commentary up while things are getting fixed up. When he feels comfortable, we will get resynced and go from there. So apologies for now. Gonna be just a minute. I think things are stabilizing a little bit on stream though, so hopefully it's sooner rather than later. Got the Nautilus coming in mid here.
Oh, baby Cage on the Rumble. Rumble getting really low, but it looks like he's gonna be able to walk it out.
Yeah.
All right.
I am
So now
synced up.
back
Are you
here?
synced up?
Yeah, I'm synced up.
We are synced up, so commentary will resume as per normal.
This is where we had the replay with the 3-man gank on the Fiora.
I was gonna say this back then, and I forgot, but there was a just a little pushing up too much, a little too aggressive. We have a Mumu finishing off Rift-Tailed here, and we have a rotation to try to catch him out.
Yep, we're going to have the Veigar rotate in, the stun into the Amumu ult here on 2 people. Baby Cage keeping them in there, and just Veigar instantly killing the Graves. Amumu's going to get run down. We're going to have the heat meter on that Rumble going up. Funnily enough, it is actually possible at max Steam on Rumble to cast an E. His E actually works in pairs. Yeah, his E will work in pairs, and so you can actually still cast it with max Steam. You can kind of use that to throw people off.
Agreed. So I will say there maybe was a miscue on the Baby Cage there. Could have potentially used it to follow up on the CC instead of just holding him in place, as it was put directly around them instead of them near an edge. So a little bit of a wasted cooldown maybe. Have the engage here on the Leona. Have the Fiora TPing in behind at the minion wave. She's going straight on the Kaisa while they finish off and feed the kill of Leona to the Tristana. So we're basically caught up from where we were talking about before. Kaisa actually got a lot further away, had to use ult, flash, and heal to try to get away from Fiora, and did not. So Cheese Blaze picking up in a kill and making her waste a lot of resources, only using TP and ult in the process.
They're going to take this Mountain Drake here. It's going to give him a little bit more tankiness. It's always nice. I'm a huge fan of this Drake.
Hey, claps for Kamikaze Penguin. Got their first dragon in the second game, 12 minutes in. You know, gotta just give them some credit. A little late, maybe waited a whole game, but gotta get one eventually, right?
I think they're playing this one a lot. They're playing this one really well, actually.
Certainly a lot smarter.
The gold is even. They're fighting. We got a Nautilus ult and hook coming out on the Rumble. Stun from the Baby Cage is just going to be barely out of range. Rumble going to be able to walk this one off.
All right, well, fortunately his ult came up like as soon as the fight ended and he was too far away, so couldn't quite utilize that to finish the Rumble off. Small fight coming bot lane here.
That Kaisa isolated Q damage is ridiculous. We got, oh, they're going to pop the Rift Herald in the bot lane. Bot lane's going to try and do what they can to do enough damage to see if they can get rid of it, but it's going to give Amumu a few plates. Fiora in Shen now fighting in a 1v1 up here. Fiora getting some good damage off, rocking those vitals. Veigar getting dangerously low against the Graves there. Graves missing the ultimate, allowing Veigar to get away with the flash.
Well, Veigar did manage to flash it. A very good flash because he was very close, so that ult didn't have much time. He had to be pretty quick on that finger to get that flash off. You know, Shen's having a lot harder time, even though he finished his plated steel caps and a bramble vest with his Fiora. But she does have the Rapus Hydra.
Graves between the Nautilus and Amumu here, gonna dash over the wall.
This is a cheeky red buff steal if I've seen one, just literally on top of the There's 4 members from both teams in this bot lane, actually. We could see a big fight come out here. There's a lot of ults up as well.
Oh, Tristana opting to go mid with a Mumu, so there's actually only 2 members from Kamikaze right now bot lane.
Yeah, looks like they're not looking to start anything. Oh, but Nautilus might be overstepping his boundary. Everybody left.
Nautilus flashing, but getting slowed down. Gonna have to queue out, but the ult from the Kaisa coming out to chase down that Nautilus.
Now, there was 3 ults used there to finish off the Nautilus. They had to chase him down with the Leona ult, the Kaisa ult, and the Rumble ult. So this might be an opening for Kamikaze Penguins to go for some plays. They're certainly taking the tower. Fiora doing what she did last game, taking down some stuff. So Gale Force coming out for the Kaisa too will help with some mobility, hopefully to dodge some of the skill shots here.
Oh, Shen is they're trying to fight Shen, flashing away from the stun.
Mumu trying to get some more pickoffs. We have Veigar in an interesting position in this red buff bush. Looks like they're going to be going for an aggressive play with him.
Mumu is now alone until Fiora or Veigar can get back over that wall, but it looks like they're just going to let him walk it out right there.
I'm pretty sure Veigar had, I think if Rumble knew Veigar was in that bush, he might have gone on the Veigar over going over the wall there. Might have
Rumble has some pretty good damage.
Well, I think it's also just they could see that there was 2 champs on the other side of the wall, so they would have had to come around 2 Rumble sides. So certainly could have been interesting, getting some vision cleared, getting this blue buff taken for the Veigar. Veigar's, of course, always loving that. Any mid laner would love to get their blue buff sorted out, wouldn't they?
This is true. This is true. I know Berserker doesn't like to give me anything. It's his jungle. He likes to... His quote is, "You take my raptors, I leave the game."
So I guess for future reference, when we're having some desync, we'll have to just try to commentate from what sections and realign ourselves with what few moments pop up on the stream. A lot of people didn't like how disorientating it was, having us talking about stuff and the stream randomly being at different moments. So
Fiora
learning
experience. Shen, but Graves coming in. Fiora is going to ult the Graves, trying to get those procs off on the Graves. Graves carefully trying to dodge around. She gets the ult, but will dive. How many 10s? Forgot the fight here. Yeah, neither do I.
I'll click.
Yeah, Fiora tied.
If you want to do a small count, I click the back 15 and I've... Alright, I'm back in the line.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm our setup. I get set up within your first few seconds usually, so it's just on.
Same.
Alright, so we are back to set up. Yep, Berserker has said in chat, no sharing allowed, camps are all mine. So do not play on a team with Berserker. If you get him, you will not get camps. He will also flame you if you take his raptors. Good to know.
Yeah.
So
he's showing
on.
off his Mathel love there with the emotes.
Yeah, I will say one small thing that's been happening a lot this game has been like a 1K gold lead bouncing between both sides. So no real advantage set. Yeah, there's a few kills in the favor of Imagine Cloud, but on the side of Kamikaze Penguins, they've gotten both bot and top tower. So one being the first tower, and
Rumble
they got
getting caught out. Shen ult coming out. Fiora having to back off from the Graves. Baby Cage is now down as well. Leona flashing just to get the slow on the Amumu, roots the Amumu on the flash, stuns him out of it. Nautilus ult coming down onto the Kaisa. Rumble getting very low, and the heal coming out to save him. Baby Cage locking in Leona and Shen, but they're going to engage in on that Tristana. Getting her very low. Kaisa's going to ult in to knock her down. Kaisa now turning her sights in on the Nautilus. The Shen taunt barely missing on the Nautilus, but they have the damage to kill him. Veigar now very low with the Shen under tower. And oh my god, how many people flashed right there to go kill that Veigar, but Shen goes down to Veigar at the same time.
I think you might be about 5 seconds ahead of me now.
How in...
So I think when he said 16, you might have thought 16 seconds instead of 16 as in the minute.
No, because I went at like 16, 14.
So...
Alright, I'm like a second ahead of the stream. Yeah, I'm like a second ahead of the stream now, so that's fine.
Yeah, that's... I'm like 2 to 3 ahead of the stream, so that seems to be what's working. Oh, we have an aggressive TP by the Fiora here to stop the dragon take.
Graves is very low.
Graves
trying to take that dragon before he goes down, but Fiora's gonna take it.
Yeah, unfortunately, he just didn't quite have a being at low health already, not going to have a great time against a brawling champ with all that healing. And she went Trinity Force this game, so very fight-esque build out of her. We do have the Chem Tank out of the Amumu this time. You know, very aggressive all around. Night Harvester from Veigar to help with the pop. Of course, the Kraken Slayer out of the Tristana to help with all that attack speed that they're buying. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be crazy. It's big fights going on here. Mortal Shield Bow out of the grave so he can sustain. Pretty typical Leandries out of the Rumble to allow him to just take so much. You know, he's got 10 stacks on his Dark Seal. He's been pretty big this whole game, and he has the potential to go Medjai's.
He is fairly strong. I will take a note on the Leandries. It's actually I see a lot of people go Riftmaker on him instead.
Yeah, I think both are very good since he does so much overtime damage. It allows him to stack up quite big. Rift has the benefit of increasing his damage through literal, you know, the self-buff of increasing, whereas on the side of the Laundries, it has pen. It slowly ticks down their magic res, so he just does more in that sense. So both are quite good at helping that out. It's just what other stats do you get with it?
The biggest plus side to going the Riftmaker, in my opinion, is unlike the Laundries, you're not wasting that mana stat. Oh, and the flash coming in on the Nautilus to ult the Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa getting so incredibly low, but so many shields just keeping that Kai'Sa alive. Fiora desperately trying to kill the Kai'Sa and finish her off, but both her and Nautilus are going to go down to the Kai'Sa there.
Yeah, I'm not sure how we keep all getting desynced.
Are you?
No, I'm ending up.
Are we
No, I
desynced
feel
again?
like I'm a few seconds ahead.
You probably are.
Okay, well, we seem to have lost stream capabilities yet again due to a crash. All good experimental practices. Kamikaze Penguin's actually going kamikaze on our streamer's computer this game, or at least their lead client. So, big Baron
Oh,
attempt coming out here.
Baron
Kamikaze
going to
Penguins want
red.
to stop it, but the Rumble ult is stopping them.
Yep, Baron goes to Immortal Cloud. Veigar's going down along with Kai'Sa and Leona. Tristana putting in so much damage from the back line there. Jumping in and immediately having to flash, though. Jumping towards that Shen might be the end of her. Shen and Graves are now the only two with that Baron buff, with only Fiora alive for the team of Kamikaze. Fiora now going in on that Graves is going to be able to take that Graves down and chase him down with ease. Shen is now the only one with Baron.
We are trying new and alternative methods to getting in here. We will get this set up somehow. Okay, you are streaming the Discord of you streaming.
I can see an extra keyboard.
Paradox on. I can see your Discord monitor, which has an infinite paradox of.
Yeah. All we see is Discord right now.
Yeah, we can just see you looking at the. Oh, it's starting to get there.
I think he streamed his main monitor.
Yeah, I think we have the wrong monitor. Gonna have to change windows. So I hope you guys are enjoying this video or this cast today, because it is certainly great for me. At the very least, I'm getting
Yeah,
to watch lots of action. So just I don't know which
this
kind of
is
action.
true.
Just know that the.
Tristana.
All right, so the Amo is literally fist fighting his League of Legends client. It has pulled out some gloves. They are going toe to toe. I wish you guys could see this. There is blood everywhere, mostly grease and oil, but lots of blood as well.
Oh, that'd be entertaining to watch.
So still got brawls going all over the map, if you couldn't tell, and which you can't. Got a fight going on for this Ocean Drake. Looks like they're, or fight for Vision, I should say. Ocean Drake, it's not quite up. You know, I don't even know if I'm synced with you anymore, Senjacia.
I'm watching Fiora run down the Shen with Fiora ultimate on him.
Yeah, I guess, what's the timer you got right now?
55.
Okay, so I'm like maybe a second off you. That's fine for me.
That's fine. That's not too bad.
I can slow down by 0.5 for like a second, and it'll let me catch up. So
Yep. Oh, we got Graves in the baby cage here, though.
Oh, he's not gonna. That's a big shield they're having to proc so that he doesn't get that big meteor on him. Does only have
Yeah.
1 point. It is maxing the stun. So if they get touched by the baby cage, it's 2.5 seconds of being stunned. Not so fun.
Oh, Amumu getting engaged on now. Amumu ulting 4 of the people, allowing the team to catch up, but they're still running through the jungle against that Rumble. The ultimate just tearing through their team.
Big, big, big Leona ult. 3-man Leona ult into Rumble ult basically secures that fight. They don't even have to do anything else. They do chase down the Veigar, but at that point, there was nothing he could do, even if he did go for stuff. Though he does finish a death cap on the end of that fight from getting a little bit of an exit kill there. But man, that Leona ult and that little small area between the red buff and dragon was perfect to get the Nautilus, the Amumu, the Tristana, and just getting that Rumble ult on top of it to where they're just ticking, ticking, ticking. And he's gone the full tick damage build from Leandri's Anguish into Demonic Embrace. Yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying Seal Radio. This is Seal Radio. I am your host, Dorgard. I am bringing it in live from the, what is it, 26 minutes?
He said 27.
No. Unfortunately, we are no longer on Twitch.
Capture.
We are now a black screen on Twitch. So,
oh, that's not even what I say. I just says looking for a game to capture.
oh, mine
right
says
now.
Error 3000. All right. Well, I hope you guys are still having fun. I'm still having a blast at looking at. Okay, now I see looking for a game to capture.
Yeah, I just watched Kaisa get 2-shot by the Veigar here.
Yeah, we missed a few fights there in the speed up to time.
Oh yeah.
Finally getting a big ult off by the Amumu that they're able to capitalize on.
Tristana taking so much damage, might tick down to the Andres and will. This Rumble is just doing an insane amount of damage.
He's going to be able to pick off this. I think this Amumu ticks out here too, maybe?
Nah, Amumu was a little tankier. Shen blowing flash in the baby cage, having to run away from this Veigar, getting stunned by the Amumu. Think he's going to take down the Amumu and go down to Veigar.
Well, this Veigar is getting absolutely massive. So if you're looking for a way out of this game, getting this Veigar to the point where, I mean, look at his items. I would be absolutely terrified. Night Harvester and Rabadons with 200 in his passive, or 270 in his passive. He's just going to ult someone and they die. There's not going to be much, you know, much fight going on there. So for all those looking, take a look at this stat here I'm hovering over. I know, I'm mean. Looks like they might find the Fiora here at the blue buff.
Fiora is trying to go in, but a 2-man Leona causing the Veigar to have to flash away. But man, that Kaisa is just getting obliterated by the Veigar ultimates.
Yeah, at this point, I'm starting to wonder if just Q into ult's enough. That's pretty much all he did there. Basically took our entire health bar. So, oh, getting the baby cage. This is going to oh, Meteor into Q is just so much damage now. I think Veigar's hit critical mass. He's level 16 as well.
Veigar is just so much damage in on that champion. He's looking to finish the Saris as well. He's got a tier fully stacked. That's
His
a lot of
ult's
AP.
doing 980, and he has 17 stacks of Dark Harvest. If you get hit by anything, that ult will finish you off. I think only Shen survives a 2-ability combo by him. Everybody else will die purely to Meteor into Q, and he's just getting that up right now. His W is at level 3, and it does 1,000 damage. Send it to me. What do you do when you see that?
What do you do when you see that? Yeah, honestly, you got to be able to one-shot the Veigar. You need to have some high damage, something to quickly kill, but Imagine Cloud does not have a quick kill champion aside from Graves.
Yeah, and to be fair, he's building for it. He has the Immortal Shield Bow into Collector. If he can get to the Veigar, there's a chance he just blows him up with the, you know, auto jump or auto dash Q ult auto. Like he's got some ways to get it done, but it's going to be very hard with just how much stronger. Oh, and look at these items finishing up for Veigar, getting his Seraph's Embrace and his Zhonya's. There's just, it's looking even harder. He just throws everything. Zhonya's comes up and throws it again. Yeah,
he's sitting at a cool 1,200 AP right now.
And he still can buy a full item.
Yeah, he's still got a full item. I'm expecting something, Actually, I have no idea what I'm
Well, we have
expecting from him
something
at
on
this
the
point.
stream, but it's interesting. Let's just go with that. Slightly off-centered and at a different time. We'll have to get this fixed up in a minute. At this point, if the game ends with us being as being a few minutes behind, we might not be able to tell you how the game ends. So
Yeah.
we'll keep you guys updated as best we can. But this might be it's been an interesting day. Let's just go with that. Been a fun one. So
Oh
thank you,
yeah.
Cyanite, for podcast style. I do podcasts many a time. Man, they're really grouping mid in here. They're trying
Oh,
to
they're
make
gonna
this.
go in on the Fiora though.
So it looks like the stream's at the Baron fight. Do we want to try to match up with that?
Go back like 2 minutes. Yeah.
It's also way off-centered, but I think we can make this work.
All right. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna roughly sync up with the stream right
I
now.
know, right? So it
Oh,
froze
okay.
again. Okay, well, you know what? Maybe we should. Both inhibs taken here off this Baron push. They have all three mega creeps if this was Dota, mega ultra super creeps because it's League and they don't like players. So yeah, everything's been taken. Luckily though, there is still, well, I should say, unlucky for Imagine Cloud. The Dragon Soul has not been taken, so there is no Elder Dragon coming out to save them. They're gonna actually have to wait for this next Cloud Soul to go, or this Cloud Dragon to go down for Cloud Soul. And after that, Elder Dragon can pop up for them to try to get that nice execute damage. So that might be their biggest way out, and that's a long way away. And by then, I think Vagar will hit 18 and have his last item.
Yeah, it looks like they're just trying to take the base right now. Only one Nexus Tower remains for the side of Imagine Cloud.
It's at this moment where you look at the opponent's base, Imagine Cloud's base, and you see just how dark it becomes when all of your base objectives are gone. It's quite sad, to be honest. There's just no vision there if there's no creep waves walking out. So it makes even your home base a dark and scary place. We have now become even more off-centered off stream. I would like to say that at this point we're getting jiggy with it and we're going to slide out of the stream entirely. At this point, if you have a gif of just a dancing Vagar, I think that would be about as accurate of what's happening. So Cloud Soul has been taken. Cloud Dragon, final Cloud Dragon. You know, this is the worst, actually. Vagar has 3 Cloud Soul or 3 Cloud Dragon stacks. His ult's on a 36-second cooldown. He will have it every time.
That's actually insane. Just seeing a Vagar ult launch that often is terrifying.
And when he gets it, he gets a move speed bonus. He only has to Q to ult to kill basically anybody except for like the Shen. And then he just gets to run away for free. So yeah, I know the stream's incredibly behind. Big fight going in right now after this engage. Take it away, Sinjinsia.
Oh, I'm not even at the same time as you anymore. We said we're going back to the stream, and I'm still
Yeah,
off
I have
from
no
you.
idea. Okay, well, let's just say there's a big fight. The stream's paused. Seems to have crashed again. So yeah, and with that, Kamikaze Penguins takes game 2. We're gonna end this at 1-1. An amazing comeback from Kamikaze Penguins. First game not looking so hot. Second game starting not so hot, but they managed to make a nice comeback to bring it back.
They brought it back in the end. I definitely think Mansfield definitely the hard carry that second game, coming back,
Yeah, he
bringing his
definitely
team on his
deserves
back.
that MVP. Zenial and all the others trying what they can. Even Cheese Blaze doing what he can to just try to keep them separated with some split push, forcing the Shen to have to be there and ult in late. Yeah, really just hurting them. So I hope you like the overlay. I think the overlay is more of the stream we've gotten to see in the second game. It's a great one. The MO loves you all. Thank you so much for watching.
Did we? Did, are we still gonna do the
Yeah, if
interview
we'd like,
post
we
game,
can.
Nemo?
Do we have the
Okay.
power to bring someone in?
I'm gonna
I don't.
message both teams and see if they want to send someone.
I mean, we could literally just ask Mansford.
I'm asking both on Discord right now.
Well, can you drag? I can't move anybody. And I don't think they can see this chat.
The MO can.
Well, I think he's drinking, so.
This is you.
All right. We have stolen Mansburg.
No, I'm here. Hi.
Vagar carry?
Um, team carry, but I think the Vagar started getting strong late game. Yeah.
Yeah, just watching you just Q ult that Kaisa was
Oh
terrifying.
my god, was the stream zoned in on the one top lane?
No.
No.
Oh, you
Okay,
missed
so
it.
I'm gonna tell you right now, the
What?
entire
What happened?
second game, the client died for the AMO about every 5 to
Oh
0.5
no.
seconds upon loading in. So most of it is podcast style. So I hope you enjoy the lovely and delicate tones of Dorgard and Sinjin because that's all you're getting.
Manstifer, do
Yikes.
you have the power to move people, or can we get Reese in here from the other
Sure.
team? We got somebody from both teams, fortunately.
Yeah, I have that also. What channel are we in? Post game interview?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should all move over there.
Yeah, that's where we're moving.
No.
All right, good.
Alrighty then.
When trying to go into a new chat.
Welcome, Reese. Welcome, Mansberg, to the post-game interview. 1-1, pretty good for week 2, especially with Kamikaze Penguins not having a week 1. Reese, how'd you feel about that second game here? It seemed like one you
I
controlled.
feel we lost the game because we just threw the game. We had tempo for most of the game, and well, we just made decisions that were poor. We kept getting caught out. Also, screw Cheeseblaze. He ran me down twice. Screw him for TPing to the dragon.
I'll listen into our comms. We like lose that fight, and she goes, "Can I make a probably bad play here?" And I go, "Sure." And he just TPs in, and we're like, "Hey, wait, Kaisa went top." So yeah, he was able to kill you and get that dragon. I think that was probably
I should have
right around the turning point.
just walked away and let the dragon hit him, and then I probably could have killed him.
I don't think you get away there.
No, I had shield bow. But I was tanking the dragon and him at the same time. But
Yeah, I think no matter what, it was going to be awkward due to just both being, very bruiser kind of dual centric champs. Is kind of just whoever got the
and I
start
took
of the duel
1100
going.
damage from dragon before he showed up. And I'm like,
Exactly.
oh, I'm dead now. But no,
Yeah.
I think we could have won that game, but we kept getting caught in the jungle. I got greedy and like went to go for Tristana after one of the fights and just kind of died for free.
Yeah,
And
I
then
think the infinite
and then I died
scaling
to
of
cheese again, Tom.
the infinite scaling of Vagar looked like that's a big factor that got you guys due to just how
well, we also
strong his
had no
build
one to get
would
on
be.
him.
Yeah.
Exactly. It really was only your Graves. If you could get the Graves somehow all the way back there on top of him without him just ulting you for 1200 damage, yeah, maybe you could take him out, but that was a lot you were asking for because his ult at the end there when I hovered over it literally said 1200 to 1500. So
He pressed it on Kaisa top lane for 2k.
Yeah.
Our ADC is like, he just pressed R on me, guys, and I died.
I use Q also, if you must know.
Yeah, he said that
did.
afterward,
He
but he was more. I think he was more shocked that you just did 2k damage with R.
Like
So
in Vagar.
it's like all of his HP.
I also made a mistake of going shield bow because I'm like, I'll just go shield bow bloodthirster, but I am greeted and went collector. But if I went bloodthirster second item, it probably would have been a harder game because they wouldn't been able to kill me.
Yeah, he would have been able to sustain out a lot. I do agree with that.
I think it was a good series.
Or I go Gale Force and just run at Mansberg the entire game and make his life hard.
yeah,
You
certainly
could
a lot of ways you could have teched out of that. Quick question was, how did you feel about seeing that game 1 lineup, the full melee SUO kind of combo?
To be fair, when we were preparing for this game, I figured the entire plan was to ban Urgot, pick Fiora, and then force him onto Malphite, and we got exactly what we wanted, so... And I'm like, okay, their jungler's just gonna play tank, so as long as Kane's up, I'm fine. I didn't do much damage, but I was just being a nuisance the entire game.
Yeah, you had a few 3-man knockups that game too.
Yeah, certainly showing off your big Playsona skills there.
Well, except for the fact that I into their team twice, but we don't talk about that, right?
The
Well,
one
you wanna
by
talk about
dragon where
inting.
you just kind of show up into the bush suddenly.
I should
Yeah.
have just W'd right out of the wall instead of
Yep.
flashing away there. But
Yeah.
Well, don't worry. Mansberg tried to catch you in the inting strategy with his Silas, so on both sides.
hey, we gave him his main. It's his provocative what he does with it.
I'm not a good player, so I do as I please.
Yeah. Are any of us really good players? Funny
No.
enough though, Sinjin C is also in Freljord, so it was a fun cast to check you guys out, and will be a fun time to play against each other as well. I think Freljord's gonna be a great kind of bracket this year. I think all the teams are looking really solid. You could just
Oh,
see
yeah.
here, it seemed like every team was going like 1-1 just about from first week.
Most
Yeah, we
teams
went
are looking
1-1
pretty
last
fun.
week as well.
We were sad to have the buy-in week 1, but now that we kind of get to play a little bit and get to see what the other teams are doing, I'm pretty sure the Kamikaze Penguins are rising to the top of this. Just saying.
Oh, okay.
We'll have to
It's
see.
okay. It's okay.
I
You can
have-
come see me in playoffs, and I'm gonna beat you that time.
Make sure you actually remember to buy Gale Force, okay?
Oh yeah, I got you.
I have a question for Mesberg over there. Now, I subbed in for your team about like 2 leagues ago and stuff like that. You guys always had the curse of every game was a 1-1. Are you gonna continue that curse this league?
The exhale power.
I'll look into our comms after game 1. Always gonna gamer jungler goes. Every time I play with you guys, we're doomed to go 1-1. I think I've gone 1-1, and I can't even count that high how many series in a row. I'm like, if you want, we can just go 0-2 this week, so we can break the streak. But I guess we decided on 1-1 this week. But I get the feeling, at the very least, if not next week, by the time we get to play next, that's our 2-0.
Got
I'm surprised.
confidence.
Honestly, I'm surprised you can get 0-2 like you did when we played in Noxus. Come on now.
True.
So much flame coming up from both teams. This is fantastic.
It's gonna be
I
an
mean,
aggressive,
imagine only
Freljord.
lost 1 week. Last season. So.
Well, now you guys have lost 2 weeks, so you're already trending down.
I mean, it's the same amount of losses, Chief. We're just not going to take any more losses. What do you mean?
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, I guess with
Alright.
that, that ends week 2 for your guys. Oh. Yeah,
Yeah.
so there's not going to be anything else on stream today. It appears we are having too many technical difficulties, so with that, we'll be ending it here. Funny enough, how many Freljord representatives we have in this chat, though. So, if you guys have any, I guess, final remarks, that'll be it for our stream today.
GG guys, it was fun, and Freljord's gonna be real exciting this split.
All right. Well, thank you for both for coming, and we'll see you guys when we get the streams back up and working again.
Alrighty then.